What's good, everybody? You are now in the mix. This your big dog K6 Shot Town's finest Carlton. Your digging your girl Leah, aka the therapist. This is episode 81. Got y'all in the mix. We got a dope ass lineup for y'all with what you mixing up in our now nice round table mix question of the day for y'all. Man, listen, we appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody who dropped their comments in on the question of the day, because this one was definitely a good one. Shout out to those who responded on the In The Mix page. Make sure y'all follow us on IG at In The Mix Radio 1. Check us out over there. Appreciate those who dropped the comments. Shout out to our sponsors, Wine O'Clock and Rich King Brand, of course. And y'all know, man, this show is going to be a good one for y'all. We might get a little vulnerable with y'all, of course. Shout out to those who actually took the time to, even if you couldn't text it, send out the voice notes and all of that. Like, we're gonna read out some of those for y'all, and we're gonna dive right into it, because I feel as though we got a nice little lineup for them. So we're gonna kick things off with what you're mixing up with some news. Where we left off last week, because during what you mixing up / shop talk, we were discussing everything that was going on over in Russia and Ukraine, right? And Aaliyah had dropped something in the chat where Moscow was going to let the Ukrainians flee to Russia.
Right. So they were saying that they was going to let a lot of civilians leave because there's civilian casualties over there, and of course they don't have anything to do with anything. But they was also saying that I think they met again today. They met like 2 or 3 times already for this, because some of the Ukrainians were saying that the Russians was fronting, as far as it was a ceasefire, so that everybody can leave that's not involved or whatever. And they were saying that some of the Russians were actually still shooting and killing civilians, so they trying to deal with that. Also, y'all know, because what I was talking about was how they were doing the black people over there.
Yeah,
it was some of the black people that was saying that the Ukrainians were trying to get the black people to fight for Ukraine, and they was like, why would we do that when we know what y'all gonna do? It's like an old Civil War tactic. Y'all gonna put the black people on the front line so they can get killed first, so that y'all can get rid of black people also while fighting the war. They not fighting that war for them, but fuck war.
and they've also been like, I saw like, what was it, like Netflix and Facebook.
Yeah.
They like what, cut off ties with them or so, like for those who
yeah. It's a bunch of people. The Olympic Committee is a bunch of countries. They sanction this. Nobody supporting this war. They even arresting people in Russia that's protesting the war. So
yeah, and it's actually crazy why we're even still on the topic, because WNBA star Brittany Griner, she actually was detained over in Russia, and I believe she's still there because they found vape cases. So they're trying to charge her with for drug possession. I didn't realize that like having vape cases is now considered, drug possession, or maybe they're just doing that just due to the fact that they had an American over there.
that's a fact.
I think that's really what it is.
She been playing. So she plays over there for a team in Russia in the WNBA offseason, and she has been doing that for years. And this never happened. Now, as soon as they go to war, they got an American celebrity, like high profile hostage or something like that. How they want to look at it? Yeah, man, it's really crazy though. I'm sure they're trying to negotiate some kind of way to bring her home, and I know they probably trying to do it on their terms.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure that's a scary situation too, especially being detained in another country.
In another country,
right?
In another country, period.
Because their rules are completely different than what it is being over in the U.S. And we know we have some fucked up rules, but in other countries, it's extremely different.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother story. So just praying she gets out of there safely. I know that's again a traumatizing thing. I mean, granted, I understand she plays over there during the off season, but I'm pretty sure during that time she was playing over there, she was never detained.
Yeah, it never happened, but
right.
Let's go.
So we just gonna pray for the best, man. So moving on, mask off. So more than 90% of the U.S. population can now ditch the face mask, only if they're following under the CDC COVID protocol guidelines.
What does that even mean?
Well, whatever CDC guidelines say.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's expected now that people are vaccinated and boosted, but we know some people are still unvaccinated.
I'm sure a good number of folks are not vaccinated or boosted or anything.
Even
So
if they were, what's the difference between now and a couple months ago when everybody was just as vaccinated and boosted?
Mhm.
I
they
think they
still
said
saying
like
keep
some of
masks on.
the numbers are going down, which is why they're kind of easing up on the restrictions.
Yeah, and Biden's also trying to make a thing to have folks return back to the office.
Yeah, no more remote work.
They kind of predicted this though for 2 years that we
Yeah.
will, return back to the office. But I think that COVID has definitely changed the way that operations are held.
Yeah,
You
'cause
know.
forget. Okay, yeah, we can return back now. We've realizing it's not a need to for the most part for a lot of jobs. We don't need to go
Right.
back into the office. Aside from the fact that too, I think the only difference between these numbers and these COVID cases is the way that they're looking at them. If you look at them a certain way, the numbers are high. If you look at them a different way, the numbers are low.
Mm-hmm.
So you
And
thinking
they're
that?
choosing
That's only what they're reporting to.
So you think we should keep the mask mandate?
for sure.
Well, I mean, you have that option. You can still
yeah,
certainly
for
wear your
sure.
mask. And now some people have said that they still intend to wear the mask even though the restrictions have lifted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's that option. But, people like, yo, it's summertime. We about to be outside.
I get that too. I just also know.
I feel like
aside from
everybody's
that-
been outside.
Yeah, everybody
Like,
been
no
outside.
matter the weather, like they.
Yeah, but people been
Folks been
outside was
outside.
still kind of being scary and having the restrictions. So I think people feel like summer 2022 is
It's
going
gonna
to be
be
like summer 2019.
They
Or at least they're trying to
probably
make it like that.
I
A
get
lot
it.
of people are
I get it.
excited.
I
Some
get
girl I seen on Facebook, she's like, I'm ready to go outside. I got my wine
She
ticket.
ready to be
West
outside.
Festival. Well, I bought mine already, so I do got mine. But she got like music festival tickets, so she ready. There's people out there, they ready. But I do
They
think,
ready. They ready.
still take your, like everybody's been doing, still take your precautions if you see fit.
Not even just for COVID though. Like
No,
I've had less colds and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You take your vitamins,
I mean,
saying your
doing all
prayers.
of that, doing all of
That's
that. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down.
Yeah. Okay.
But
It's still crazy to me the fact that folks even still got to put up signs that say "wash your hands when you leave." Like you're
Signs.
grown that you're
Signs
you're
are
an
been up
adult.
them
You were
signs
taught
been
this
up
at
there.
such a young age. I just don't get it.
Health
Like
regulations.
But them signs been up there though.
Yeah.
To wash your hands, they've been up there my whole. I've never seen.
Right,
I've
because
never
part
not
of
seen
the
them.
health regulations that you have to have that.
Yeah,
up
that just
there.
show people don't listen. You know.
Yeah.
But if we
people
talking
are
about
filthy.
COVID cases going down, it's another number that's going up
Right.
and up and up.
Am I-
These freaking gas prices.
Oh yes. I'm
God.
about to be at. I think they said LA is like at $7 right now.
One of my men in LA said he's seen somebody somewhere it was $9.
Yeah.
Sure.
What?
$9.
What?
$9.
I don't care what the gas
You
price
about to
is.
be walking. You about to be walking. About to be walking.
This car you getting that $40 from me. That's all. I don't care what the price is. You getting 40.
That's how to go up your tank though, right?
Don't matter. Take that up with Allah.
This
Don't matter.
this might be a summer to where
Whatever 40 get me, that's what 40 got
I
me.
mean, yeah, because they're not going down no time soon.
I'm gonna have to get a bike. That's what I'm gonna have to
Just-
grab for the
just walk.
summer. Just get me a bike. Since I'm into my fitness anyway, I might as well just ride a bike to the gym and back.
Y'all better stop complaining because people on these statuses, y'all be buying all that Gucci and Balenciagas
Yeah.
and getting your nails done and all that. So
that's a
don't be
one-time
complaining
purchase.
about them gas prices.
A pair of Balenciagas is a one-time purchase. You gotta pay for this gas every week.
I get what they were
Y'all
trying to
got
say.
me. Yo, nah. All I know is this is gonna be a great summer for the legs, cause everybody's legs should be in shape. Y'all riding these bikes, scooters. Y'all gonna be on these skates. Some of y'all gonna be on feet.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get these legs in order, man. I'm out here.
I like that $40
Right.
limit.
It should be no excuse. The gyms is already getting packed as is.
Hey,
I hate
Let's
going in
get
the evenings now, yo. I'm just like, damn. The spring and summer is approaching, so
Get ready
everybody's
for
just
it.
trying to get right. So
And
now it's
they
just
got-
getting oversaturated in
I mean,
there.
You know,
It's
they
not
say
like-
summer body is
you know,
made in the winter, so we about to hit
I mean-
spring, so they a couple months late.
I mean,
They still like better late than never, right?
I'm about to say it still ain't summertime yet. They got time. Let's get them things in order. Run to the gym so you can get used to running, so that you don't gotta pay for this gas. They got me fucked up.
Hey yo. And moving on, this is more in your field, Leah, if you want to touch on this a bit.
Yeah.
So, like the struggles of finding a mental health consultant has been extremely
It's-
tough for some folks who actually want to take care of their mental health.
It's been insane, y'all. So like it's already been crazy prior to the pandemic, but let's say like our caseload has increased exponentially because of coronavirus. But the problem is our health insurance. So people cannot, well, first of all, a lot of practitioners are saying, well, health insurance is not really paying out for our rates. So for example, let's say a clinician, they may charge $150 a session, but Care First may only pay out 90 of that. So the practitioner is losing out on that difference. So they're like, okay, well, but people can't pay $150 every single week. Well, some can, but a lot of people can't pay $150, even if it. And I don't want to say therapy is a luxury, but if it is, it's still a need. But it is expensive, especially in times like this where we have inflation going on. So it's like, do I pay $150 for a session, or do I buy my groceries and get $4 a gallon gas? I gotta go with the latter. But then practitioners are like, we're not getting the money that we are, obviously set our rates, and unfortunately, we're not really making the money. So it's causing that issue. And then plenty of people who, both practitioners who do take insurance, a lot of the clients who stay with them, they just kind of stay with them. So their caseloads never really open back up. So like, for example, I have one client who I've been seeing her for the past 5 years. Still actually now twice a week after 5 years. So usually people just stick around. So it's been really hard for potential
friend at this point.
Pretty much, right? But no, she still got some things going on, believe it or not, after 5 years, because it's always something going on. So even after like all that time, but the thing, I feel bad for new potential clients because they're looking to receive services and they just can't find a mental health therapist. So
you gonna help them out.
You gotta really start this insurance. Insurance gotta really, reimburse for practitioners. Like, we're not taking insurance, and I get it. I understand both sides, So that's really what's happening right now.
We gonna help them out. Let's get these mentals right.
I hope. I would still encourage folks to continue to look, because some people do fall off.
Yeah, some people are accepting, but at least they're taking the time. And during that process too, in the meantime, if you can't find anyone, journaling has been extremely helpful. Definitely get you a journal and just write out your thoughts and how you've been feeling, even if you don't want to talk to anyone, because I also know at times, like, for folks, they don't want to be a burden because somebody else might be going through something. They might not show it, but doesn't mean they're not going through their own problems as well. So just write out your thoughts. Find you a hobby that's like very therapeutic for you, whether it's drawing, knitting, cooking, going to the gym, singing, doing karaoke nights or something. Like it could be anything that's very therapeutic for you, but don't give up on that mental health.
Don't ever give up.
Yeah, definitely. You could definitely do some things for yourself, as you mentioned, Kid Six. But also don't give up on the search, because there are practitioners, and of course there are new clinicians coming in the field as well. Like graduate students who are seeking their supervision hours, and they need to see clients. So definitely don't stop the search. There's so many other resources, and one of the major ones is Psychology Today. That's like a huge directory for therapists in your region. So definitely check that one out.
Psychology Today.
www.psychologytoday.com.
That's where I found my therapist, man. Shout out to her. She's dope as shit.
Let's get it, man.
Yeah.
She the illest. Man, moving on to some sports, because this was some breaking news this week, ladies and gentlemen. Some breaking news. Now, there was a lot of buzz whether he will return or not. And for a couple years, it's been talks like it was never about the money. It was just more so of having his input on things, with the front office, who they should draft, who they should go out and get in free agency. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, he did sign. Now, we don't know. We don't know the talks of the terms now, because he went on to social media and said that those weren't the terms of the agreement.
He said he agreed to sign, but they didn't. The terms that they are stating are not the terms yet. So
for those that saw, it was a 4-year deal worth $200 million, $153 million guaranteed out of that $200 million. That's an insane guaranteed money.
That's a lot of money
for anyone in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
All right. but he came out and said that wasn't it. So we want to see. But A-Rod is staying home, so you got to deal with him for another however many years he decides. I know you were hoping he would leave.
Of course. He Packers. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Then on top of that,
I thought he was gonna leave too.
we want him to leave. He can go. He can still go. He said they didn't agree to the terms. Don't agree to the terms and just go. And then on top of that, Devontae Adams got hit with the franchise tag. It's
What is
okay.
a franchise? What does that mean? Franchise tag.
So franchise tag is pretty much to where they're going to tag you. They're going and you want to play out that term for a year, however much it's going to be. They might tag you for 1 year. It could be 15, maybe $30 million deal until they get out the exact contract deal that you're looking for. But if it doesn't work out, then it's just like, all right, I'm out. There have been players who've been tagged more than once. There's players who's just like, at this point, if y'all can't give me what I want, I'm gonna go somewhere else because I know that team is they have the funds, they know what I want, and they're gonna give it to me. So we definitely gonna see, but that was crazy. Cowboys, now this probably sparked like maybe a week or so ago, but they could possibly be moving on from Amari Cooper. So that would save them.
That's sitting on some cap space.
Yeah, because I think he was scheduled to make like maybe $20 million a year, but it's just kind of like you're getting $20 million a year, but we haven't really got $20 million a year production from you.
He could. I think he can still go somewhere and do decent.
He's
just not for that money.
Right. He's definitely not. He's inconsistent. 1 minute he could give you a game or two to where it's just like, damn, he really balling out.
I had expectations from him since he was in college.
Yeah, and he used to ball out. He definitely used to ball out. But this was really the news. This was really the news that hit us that nobody was really expecting. You know, you was probably at home working from home, or you were probably in the office. But Russell Wilson and the family, Sierra and the kids, they hit it to the Mile High. He got traded to the Denver Broncos. C, could you please read off what the trade details were?
All right.
It was crazy, and only for the Broncos just to receive two things.
So the Seahawks received 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant. The Broncos received Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick.
Why you say it like that?
My goodness.
Because that's it.
My
I
goodness.
said it how it was. That's it. They gave him a house and they gave him a pillow on the cover. What is more, a little bit more than a pillow on the cover because Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. It's just funny though because they beat the dog shit out of the Broncos in that one Super Bowl.
They definitely did. They definitely did. Yeah, that was crazy. Like, that was a lot. But I will say, I don't think I've ever seen a team give up as much as the New Orleans Saints did back in 1999 when they pretty much gave up damn near every draft pick that they had that year to move up to the second or third pick to get Ricky Williams,
who ended up playing for the Dolphins not too long after that.
Right.
He was getting represented by Master P too. Shout out
Yeah,
to
he
Master
was.
P.
Shout out to Master P, man. Biggest entrepreneur I know. He always gonna find a way to make money.
Russell Wilson, not slick. You go from Seattle to Denver. You know what's legal in both of there? Weed. He's smoking them grapes, such a sweets. He ain't slick. He not slick. I know what you up to. You think he's slick. That's why you keep having them babies. Because he in there listening.
Hey, and I'll just keep y'all on alert with this one too because this popped up as well. Carolina Panthers, they are accepting calls for running back Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to take a first-round pick as well as a player for whoever wants to trade for Christian McCaffrey. Now that's here's where it's kind of a little iffy with that one because Christian McCaffrey, he can't stay healthy. So it's kind of like, am I going to get a healthy Christian McCaffrey or am I going to get somebody who's constantly going to stay banged up? How long is he going to constantly be on the field? It's sort of like how the Lakers moving on. It's like the Lakers with Anthony Davis. We gave up so much, but the man can't play a full season for us.
Never been able to play a full season for anybody.
But we're not even referring to Anthony Davis right now. We're talking about Westbrook. Now, I can say that because I'm a diehard Lakers fan and shit ain't been right. You know, whenever you want to try to appease to LeBron James, it's either going to go right or it's going to go wrong. In this case, it's been going wrong. Off-season moves that were made were horrible, especially the trade that we made to get Russell Westbrook. Bad idea. I didn't like it from the jump, but whatever. So
why they calling him Westbrook?
Because he's been horrible this season. He can't make anything. And shout out to Skip Bayless for that nickname, because I don't think if anybody could come up with a nickname for somebody like that, it's definitely Skip Bayless, who actually has his wife, Russ's wife, blocked on Twitter.
Yeah.
Why
So she can't respond to anything.
So I gotta. This is how I feel about that,
Mm-hmm.
because I see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Being an NBA player,
Mm-hmm.
people get nicknames based off how they play. They just get nicknames, period. Like,
Mhm.
you know, another nickname, he's the new Mr. Triple Double. We know that. But he's being called Westbrook because he misses, like, a lot of shots. His shooting percentage is, like, at an all-time low for his career. On top of that, like, it's not like he's just missing regular. It's like he's shooting the ball and it's, like, hitting the top of the backboard. That's a brick. But you might be able to sympathize with this. He's taken offense to the name. He said that he doesn't really he don't even want to have his family come to the games no more because the fans is calling him Westbrook. He don't want his kids and his wife to hear that.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? I get that. And then as far as Skip blocking his wife on Twitter, it's because Skip is excessive when he talks shit about players.
Right? Can't he just do the analytics
He can't.
without?
He can't. It's a way to
the
do it.
nickname.
It's a way to talk
Yes.
crazy. Not even forget the nickname part. I mean, he just overdoes it. Like, it's
That's
not even.
That's how he makes his checks too.
That's how he makes his checks.
Because they tell him like, yo,
Who
do
else?
that.
Somebody else don't like him either. Who else
LeBron,
is he?
if I was LeBron James, I would want to fight him. Like, he talks more about LeBron for any reason at any given moment. Like, it could be unrelated. Like, he could just be like, Michael Jordan woke up and tied his left shoe first. I bet you LeBron doesn't do that. He's not like stuff like that is annoying.
Skip will really annoy me because the fact that you wake up every single day thinking about me like that
What's up, bro?
I don't ever want to have
It's
another
obsessive.
grown ass man thinking about me, bro. Like that's weird.
Nah, it's
Unless
weird.
you my father and you like, you know, how's my son doing, man? Let me call him or
Man,
something.
he's
But
not doing that.
that's all.
He's doing, and so Russell Westbrook's wife is pretty much like as much crap as Skip talks about Russ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She's like, you can talk crazy to him. I'm gonna talk crazy to you. So who can play that game? So it's like, oh, now that you block me, how you gonna block me when you talking crazy about
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You the journalist. Like, you don't have. It's a certain level that you can take it to where you
Right,
can talk
right,
your shit
right.
and I can talk mine back.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to talking crazy and I address that, and now you block me, how am I
Yeah.
wrong? You know what I'm saying? But Skip is going wear his Jordans and say what he gonna say.
You
regardless.
got rid of
And I
all
think-
kind of Jordans.
He wear the wrong ones sometimes though. I'm not gonna lie to
I
you.
think Russ also mentioned like his family's been receiving like death threats and stuff from the
It
fans.
probably was,
Like
man.
threats.
Lakers fans is crazy.
Yeah, it's when you play for a winning organization and that's all they bleed, and that's all they know. It's kind of like they don't expect anything less from you. Like when you come to this historic organization, like you got to bring your A game the same way you was playing for everybody else. Like we need that, and it's kind of like we really haven't been getting that. But again, I said this before, man. Fans really take it to the extreme. They truly take it to the extreme. Like I get it. You love the game, you love the sport, you love your team. But all of the excessive shit of like, you know, making threats to the family and all that, that's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
That's where you
Those
truly
fans
draw
are
the line.
so goofy.
That's a lie, right?
Why do they do that? Like, it's
Because people are that invested, and then some people do it like for fun, and they don't
Yeah,
think
but it's
that
not
Right.
they don't think it's real people behind. Like
Right.
Mhm.
you think you can say whatever to Russ, and he's not gonna be affected, or he might not do
Yeah.
nothing, and they always wrong about that.
Fans
Right.
act better.
Them fans need to get jumped twice.
That's a whole
I'm
fact.
saying that right there.
Until they have a Malice in the Palace part 2,
Jump
and it
them
might
twice.
not even be at the Palace.
It's all good though.
It's definitely not going to be there. They just need to. They need.
We forgot something with the NFL too. Not to cut you off.
Oh no, you good. Oh,
Calvin Ridley got suspended
oh,
for a whole season.
circling back. Yes, we got to touch on that. So, Calvin Ridley, wide receiver of the Atlanta Falcons, got suspended for the entire season, the 2022 season, for betting on games. Now, we understand that that is a rule in the NFL, but an entire year for betting on NFL games, you get suspended for 2 games for lying about being vaccinated and putting other people's health at risk. You get suspended for 2 games for spitting in your wife's face and knocking her out. I just don't get it.
It's the NFL, right?
I don't get
You already
it.
know my feelings about the NFL, so y'all want to look this way.
I'm
Y'all
sure
already
like-
know my feelings
like-
about the NFL.
Mixers, can y'all please help us understand this, please? What is it? What is it? What are the do's and don'ts to where you can get suspended for a year and then you get suspended for a game or 2?
So, and that's really everybody's issue. The NFL doesn't know how to punish.
They don't.
Because I understand how you affect the integrity of the game as a player and betting on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because they like, what if you had inside information because you're a player? Even though he bet on his team to win and he wasn't playing, it's still like, once you open up that door, everybody can do it. They're going to finesse out. You can't do that at all. So I understand punishing him for that. But you suspended him for a game. We didn't watch the NFL cover up NFL players abusing their wives and kids and doing all kind of wild stuff. And
Ray Lewis beat a murder case
He beat a murder case.
and won Super Bowl MVP.
Ray Rice knocked his girl out and
Right.
then knocked her up.
Exactly.
But he got suspended like, what was it, 6 games or something?
Yeah, like 2 to 6 games.
I mean, they can't. Clearly, we know the NFL can't get it together, right?
Well, we know.
Anyway, that man lost like $10 million over $1,500 bet. And
You know they gotta make an example out of people, but they're
Yeah,
doing it
especially the
in
black
interesting ways. Right.
especially the black people, we know that. You know.
I truly feel like that's a very, very interesting way. Like I said, I understand that's definitely, in the rule book and everything, but also like domestic
God
violence and
damn.
everything that we listed.
That need to be in the rule
That's
book.
in the rule book as well. And if it's not,
You know,
I don't like. I really need to. I wonder if they have the NFL guidelines on Google or something. I need
we find it out at a later date.
right.
We just know that they smoke.
Yeah,
They feel retarded.
but that's really just crazy. Please help us understand this. Please.
Let's get to it, man.
Please. Moving on to some entertainment. Drake files a temporary restraining order against a woman who continues to stalk him.
Are these reports even true? I mean, that could be. But
Yeah.
I feel
They
like
know it's in the news.
I feel like it can be true. I mean, shit, men get stalked all the time. Like women aren't the only ones who get stalked.
It's
That's
Drake
true.
though. Like
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? So
It's Drake.
it's Drake. So
that
You know,
nigga.
you have people who live like they can have something gated and they will find a way over there.
Did y'all read the article?
I didn't.
Nah.
So check it out. Check it out.
You were invested. See,
No.
go
I mean, it was a short article.
ahead. Okay.
So remember last year, it was a story about somebody that broke on his property, broke onto his
I
property.
remember that. Yeah, I remember
This
that.
is the
happening.
same girl.
Oh.
So
okay.
apparently after that happened, like once the news broke and he just got it removed. Like matter of fact, he wasn't there when it happened.
Mhm.
So when he found out, they didn't tell him her name or
Mhm.
I don't know how she got under. They were just like, we handled it, whatever. But then when the news broke out, she ended up suing Drake. Guess how much she sued Drake for?
It was a cool million.
Please.
It was more than that.
Way more. than
Wait, pause.
that. Way
Like
way
50
more than
mil.
How you going?
Way
All
more
right,
than that.
you better not be no 100.
Way more than
What?
that.
How you?
What are you talking about? Like 2?
What's she suing for?
Way
Oh, we
way,
not all right.
way
It
more
better
than
not
that.
be no 500, and I'm not going past that.
Way
He already
way,
hit a billion.
way more.
He's not even a billionaire. Like, what is he getting his money from?
Way more than that.
Alright, we're done.
She tried to sue this man for $4 billion.
What?
The article said $4 billion.
For
You
what?
sure it wasn't a typo?
Defamation and all type of wild stuff. And then Drake was like, this woman's lost her mind. Of course it got dismissed in November.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? She tried to I guess get it undismissed or something like that. They threw it out. It was like, you wildin'. But then since then she's been sending him threats and stuff like that because of this. So he was just like, yeah, peace order, shorty.
Did she not know?
Because
how
nobody
much
dealing
it's
with this
not
crap.
worth?
I'm not gonna lie.
Did she
Those
not
type
know
of
that
people,
she
you really have
crazy?
to be. You have to really be careful of them. Like something's really wrong with them mentally. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
be careful of that.
they know that.
You gotta be careful of that. That's insane.
So clearly, we might hear Bar about this on the next Drake
Facts.
on a feature or an album or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But damn, man, stay safe, Drizzy, man. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Women is out. They crazy out here, man. Moving on. So Jay-Z, Hove threatened to part ways with the NFL over halftime show. Now there have been some reports, some rumored reports at the time that the NFL they didn't want Eminem to take a knee, in honor of Colin Kaepernick, which he still did. He said after NFL.
And he white, so
that's what I'm saying. He was
They
anybody
wasn't
to do it. It could have been him
They
to do
wasn't
it.
gonna say much of
He's
that
white.
anyway. But also too at the same time, I believe they also had an issue with Snoop's wardrobe, which he was representing for his big Crips out there. He had on the Crip fit, and Snoop said, Jay-Z just pretty much like found Snoop where he was at, and he just told him like, "Yo, man, go out there and wear whatever you want," type of thing.
He told them, if y'all don't let them do what they want to do, the deal is off, and they
Right.
All right. Let them do
And
it.
that was a hell of a halftime show. I will say that. But also too, like you gotta understand, this is Snoop. You're not about to tell Snoop that he can't wear anything like that. Snoop is an icon.
First of all, even
He's
if
in
you-
Corona commercials.
Even if you tell Snoop he can't wear like blue bandana, he is like a world renowned Crip. Him being there is like watching a big ass bandana
And I
on
guess
TV.
also too, I feel like the
If
audience
he's
doesn't
there,
know.
all the Crips has made it. Like all the Crips is looking at him like he big Crip.
Do white America even familiar with that?
I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna keep
So,
it
like,
1,000. If there's any gangs that they familiar with, it's
It's
Bloods
the
and
Crips.
Crips.
Okay.
Bloods and Crips.
I mean, yeah.
Especially if they report on them all the time.
And Snoop is one of the
Definitely
most
familiar.
known faces in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he lets it be known every chance he get that he's big. Even if they don't know what exactly it is, they can relate.
Mm-hmm.
Crip, blue flag, this is a dance. It's called Crip walking. Let's have something to do with that. Whatever, but Jay stood his ground with that, and it was like, they held it down. And it made me start to think too about remember how you always be like, what is he actually doing with them?
I'm gonna send you something.
I mean, you could. I do my research, but aside from that, the other side is that I feel like as much as he is doing,
Mm-hmm.
the NFL doing stuff like this, they could also be doing stuff like that. Like it could be part of the reason why for some people it's hard to find out what he is doing because they don't want people to know. They got a problem with the halftime show because Snoop is in it. They got a problem with Eminem, the white guy. They got a problem with it being that many black people on the ticket for the halftime show. They got a problem.
But what did
You
they
know how the
expect
NFL
with
do
this
something.
deal?
We already been through all of that. You still confused?
No. But you're saying like they're trying to they had a problem with like all these black people on the halftime show. Like, what did they expect with the deal with Jay-Z? Wasn't that supposed to be about the entertainment piece?
But the other side to that is that it's like, yeah, but you know how some people they like, okay, we'll let you do it, but you got to do it our way, and it just they assume that it's gonna look a certain way just because he's doing it, and then they like that should be enough. We can still just do it our way and just have him act like he did. Jay's like, it don't work like that.
Right.
Like you gonna have me doing it, and I'm gonna do it the way it's supposed to be done, so that y'all can't do y'all little whitewashing how they do it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, we know it's this is the same NFL that just suspended a player for a full season
And,
for betting on a game, and they didn't suspend. They don't even like take people out of the league. They be beating on their wives all the time. They be doing crazy stuff because they don't even want to take responsibility for players having CTE.
At all. Yeah. They can care less. It's kind of like it's out of their hands once they're out the league.
Yeah, they cannot care less.
So, shout out to Hov, man, standing up to the NFL and telling Snoop, do your thing, hold it down. Moving on. So, I think this is where again it makes things a little difficult for those who actually are victims of rape, and it's a tough situation, especially for those that might have been through that and don't really speak up on it because they may feel as though it could have been their fault. But we had talked about Chris Brown and the allegations of him being sued for, I believe it's like maybe $20 million or so from a woman from a yacht party, I believe, back in December that was thrown by Diddy. So apparently the messages had leaked, and the woman continued to reach out to Chris Brown claiming that, you know, he was the best she ever had, and you know, just still reaching out to him and everything, and that she still wanted to sleep with him. But he wasn't responding. He pretty much ghosted her. So was it rape, or you just upset at the fact that he ghosted you? If that even happened, you know, like even if y'all like did y'all actually have sex, like did y'all actually encounter each other to the point to where it got that far? We really don't know. You know how some folks out here like to get out here and make these stories up and just going about their lives and try to get a quick meal ticket out of something because they just can't, you know, find themselves a job and work like other folks.
Didn't something like this happen before with Chris? It was like an allegation that was proven to be false.
Yeah.
Was it like the same as this one? Do y'all remember?
I don't know.
Yeah. I believe this one is like his second one.
I know it's his second one.
And there was another one to where like a girl tried to claim that he slapped her wig off, but that was never true.
Oh yeah. Man, people with getting their feelings hurt, it looks like that. Like she just got her feelings hurt because he didn't want to mess with her no more, so she tried to, you know, do this to him. And
but it's just crazy because it's just like, yo, what makes you take it to the extreme at the fact that like somebody played you? Like what makes you take it to that extreme to where you want to say, oh, he raped me, or oh, he hit me?
there's people out there like that.
Even if we gotta look at it from the other side, playing devil's advocate. Even if he
You
did,
don't ever have to play devil's advocate.
no, because we weren't there, so we don't know. Even if,
Oh yeah.
you gotta look at the both sides. Even if he did ghost her, doesn't mean that the incident didn't happen. I'm just saying we don't know.
Okay.
We can't say like it has to be one or the other. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it did happen or it didn't. I don't know. I'm just saying like, does that mean that it didn't happen?
Okay.
We don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So
So
second time they done got this man Chris like this though, man.
Word.
it is interesting though that like him and Trey Songz, if you keep coming up with this, it's like, could they be targeted? Absolutely. Could they really happen?
Trey Songz is more.
Trey
Trey Songz whistles longer than Chris Brown, so you can't even put them two in the same. You get two. How you go from their name keep coming 2 times Chris Brown compared to Trey Songz. Trey Songz, yeah, and the first time it was false. The chick lied.
Proven.
Proven.
Chris.
And then this time around, this don't even sound like it's real. But Trey Songz, Trigger Trey, I don't know. I really don't know. And what's her name? She was on the Breakfast Club. Keke Palmer.
Yeah,
They was trying to warn folks, and they was trying to laugh at her and claim, you know, Trey ain't her type and all of that.
That's why I say we don't need no devil's advocate, because these sides don't look like a. Let's look over on this side. It's like you can
I
look
mean,
over where you want
with
to.
Trey Songz, and it look a little, y'all. When the YouTube mixes out, y'all probably believe it too. But it looks a little sketchy, yes.
One look
But
way
we
more
again
sketchy
with
than
Trey
the other.
Songz, we don't know either. So
But
we
they
don't
all
know.
go missing. Nothing gets proven.
That's what I'm saying. Even with Trey Songz,
they just
too,
all
even
go
if it's,
missing. That's because their money came in.
Right. It don't,
And that's
it
another
don't-
thing,
it
too,
don't- it don't happen like that with Chris.
Yeah.
Right.
It gets completely proven wrong and dismissed because of stuff like, you know, these text messages. But
And I also think too, this is just my take on it. I feel as though because they try to look at like how the media portrays Chris Brown, is kind of like it's easy for folks to pretty much try to like, if they say something, it's easy for folks to really believe like, oh yeah, Chris Brown would do something like that.
not because he had the incident with Rihanna. I don't think he gotta be a rapist because he had domestic violence. I wouldn't put 2 and 2 together like that. I mean, I guess some people would, but
People really do.
anything bad can be linked to anything else bad. That's
Right.
That's just how it works. It sucks.
I feel like there's, yeah.
If you do this, you do that. All right, bro. Okay. Anywho, you know.
So that's just I don't, that's a tough one to be honest with you, but yeah, that. But speaking of which, other women who have been claiming that you know, someone's been doing inappropriate things to them during their massage sessions and everything. So of course y'all remember a while back when news had broke about Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson had, you know, revealed himself, wanted extra pleasure and all of that, and during these massage sessions and everything. And it's crazy how all this news started up after the fact that like he announced that he wanted to be traded from the Houston Texans. Then all of this stuff just came out, popped up about him. Like it's just crazy. It's insane
You
to me.
gotta say it loud and for the business.
It is really insane to me. But that case is supposed to take place this Friday. The women who made these allegations are going to go to court.
That's your boy, that one. The man's a Dutty boy.
You know you
Listen.
sitting next to a whole Jamaican, right?
So you said it then.
Dutty. Go ahead. Say it.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you gotta say it with like, go
Man's a
ahead.
Dutty
Keep
boy,
going.
that one. All I'm gonna say is this, man. All I'm gonna say is this. Don't nobody need that many massage therapists.
How many was it?
How many that's like testifying, or how many wasn't? We don't know how many it was.
Yeah, but how
I
many?
think it was like
testified?
20. Was like
It
22.
was like 20 something a year.
20 something.
How much
Yeah.
time? Maybe
So
he had
that's-
one
that's
each,
just-
like when he be traveling.
But that's just how many of them that was like willing to say something. I'm pretty sure it's more massage therapists that was just like, man, whatever. So it's just like, bro, why you need that many massage therapists to all beat your, man, y'all know.
I mean, maybe he got different massage therapists when he traveled.
I mean, possibly. I really
I
think
would-
he's
I
just
would-
out here just going and just. And mind you, I know someone was probably with it. Someone probably was like, well, this is awkward, but whatever. And they probably, so it's, I know it's like a up and down that it's like some truth and it's some wild shit. Regardless, don't nobody need that many massage therapists, bro. You
Yeah.
wow, that's a lot of people putting their hands on your mans. You wow. Dutty boy, that one.
Yo.
That man crazy. That man crazy.
Oh man, so we definitely want to
How
keep
is
y'all
that
in the
the
mix
cute
with
now?
that one for sure,
He is,
man.
He's young, yeah.
but
That's just insane. Yeah, hopefully those allegations aren't true, but if they are, that you would really be a wild boy to have that many.
I mean, listen, whether it was assault, like if it was like assault, like you had these women doing something they didn't want to do,
Yeah.
that's what the issue is. The fact that they did it. It's like we
Yeah.
know they was doing it,
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and that's OD. Even if it was consensual, that's still
Yeah.
OD.
it is interesting though because we hear so many allegations from women with like men like doing sexual assault, but we rarely hear from men with
That's
like
because a
women.
lot of dudes
Yeah.
don't be minding that. That's crazy.
But it can happen.
It can and
And
it
it
does.
does happen.
It can and it
Yes.
does. A lot of dudes don't mind, or a lot of dudes might not know.
Or a lot of dudes like they just don't say nothing.
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah.
culture to say anything like, you know, I was raped by a woman. Now other men are gonna look at you like, what?
Yeah,
That's
because people gonna get looked at crazy, or they gonna be like, that can never happen to you. It's a double standard. It's a double standard in everything. Stuff like that shouldn't happen to women, but it's okay for it to happen to men. And it's just kind of like, why should it be okay? Just because I'm a man? I'm not supposed to show emotion towards things? Is that why it's not supposed to happen? But you know, them double standard conversations, a lot of folks really don't want to have that discussion, man. I think that's a discussion that a lot of folks really aren't
But
comfortable
we
enough
need to have them
have.
though. We really do because you got to make it much more comfortable and culturally accepted for men to report these things as well because it happens and people think how can it happen, but it does. You
Mhm.
know, so I feel like they should be made to create a safe space for them to report just like women do, and we do it where we're even fabricating stories. You know, so.
That's a fact. Quickly,
Yeah.
women. I tell you one thing: if a man does something to a woman, they're quick to report that. They're quick to like take a picture, screenshot, whatever they do, drop it on social media, try to embarrass you. It's crazy because there was this one girl. I guess she caught herself trying to embarrass a man that she used to be sleeping with, posting a pic of his dirty ass drawers, trying to embarrass him. But it's like, while you're trying to embarrass him, you're embarrassing yourself because you still slept with that man knowing he had shitty drawers. And you wanted to wait for your perfect opportunity to
Now,
drop it on
how you
Twitter.
know she didn't see it after the fact?
She was sleeping with that man more than once. So
Except how many?
No, I mean I feel like she knew, but I'm just saying.
Ain't no after the fact. You're not always gonna have sex in the dark. People have sex in the daytime. You gonna see them draws.
Now, come on. Now, how often do you really see somebody inside of their underwear?
So you mean to tell me that you not going like? Come
Who's
on,
looking at
we
that?
all grown. If you see somebody's drawers on the floor and you like, oh, where's my panties? Or oh, where's my boxers? And you be like, oh, they right here. Oh, they right here.
Okay.
It happens.
It does happen, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes people don't be paying attention to that. But did she? No, she probably did. Like, she probably didn't care until something happened. She like, yeah, I got something on you, I'll embarrass you. That's not. People gotta stop doing that. Like, they gotta stop trying to embarrass people on social media. That isn't cool.
Especially when you end up embarrassing yourself because
Yes.
folks was really on there too. Like, bro, if you really thought you was getting somewhere with this, like, you look dumb because you was sleeping with them.
People be lame, man.
Yeah.
But,
Mhm.
you know, it's all good.
But it's all good, man. At the end of the day, check yourself. And that's what we here to do, man. We gotta check ourselves. And that's what our roundtable mix question of the day is. And again, shout out to the mixiners who dropped some comments. We're gonna read those off. So if in classy, if you could send a few of the ones that responded from the in the mix page too, as well. Appreciate that. And I know you received some too.
Yeah, we did. So, you guys, today we are definitely checking ourselves. So, mixiners, YouTube mixiners, definitely get in the mix. So, drop the comments, tap in. We want to hear what you have to say. And like tonight's brown table mix, we're just trying to get some insight, introspection, right? So, the question is, what's the dialogue you really need to have with yourself but you haven't had so far? So there are things, guys and ladies, that we need to say to ourselves, but we haven't had that conversation. Maybe it's too hard of a conversation to have. Maybe we haven't had any insight. Maybe we haven't had any awareness. But once we do, it's like we really got to take a step back and have this conversation. So I am going to read, some of the comments that I did receive. This first person said, I guess mine would be, why do I expect others to treat me the way I treat them? And why am I so quick to jump in and offer my assistance when I'm already overwhelmed with my own stuff? I guess always putting others before myself. This other person said, I'm contemplating, what am I waiting to have again is making money worth losing my free time. And he said, I think I'm pretty good with having conversations with myself. I have a form of meditation where my inner wiser me has a conversation with the outer presentation of myself. And if I need be, I have one of those compartmentalized sides of me out to vent as well. This person said, well, one would probably be, why am I not exactly in life where I thought I would be or want to be? What led up to it? What part did I play in it? What can I do to change it and avoid it moving further? This is a question that really came to myself. Also, how and why I let myself down. So those are my responses. See, you got some responses?
I got these audio messages right here. Shout out to who got these, Aja?
Yeah.
Shout out to Aja for getting these audio messages.
Big facts.
Let me turn this up real quick so y'all can hear it. They're quick. They're real quick though.
Okay, so something that we always talk about is creating boundaries with other people, but not necessarily creating boundaries with ourselves. And so really having a conversation about how do you create boundaries within your own livelihood, with work, with your self-care, with lending yourself to other people, and holding yourself accountable.
Yeah,
So,
that's good, that's good.
Okay. That was the one. That was a good one too.
Yeah.
I think putting myself first and my feelings and my overall well-being. I think something that we also need to be responsible is to not. I think also something that we need to have conversations with ourselves is to not feel responsible for other people's mistakes. Especially in the setting that we're in nursing school.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
That's good, thank you.
One more.
another one is harsh about whatever it's contributing to, and why our mindset always goes to like that negative kind of like disappointment and why you're doing something wrong versus like what you're focusing on doing well for.
Yeah. Too much self-hate, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. That's some good responses.
Facts, yo. Shout out to the nurses over there over at JH, man. Shout out to those ladies doing their thing and sending in their responses. We definitely had a few more, man, but we don't want to take up too much of the time. But we appreciate those that did drop comments. We do appreciate that. Thank you.
So read a couple more. They're short. This one person said, putting myself first because I can't show up for others if I can't even show up for myself. This other person said, made me focus on allowing myself to receive flowers and not just keep giving them out. This other person said, stay consistent. Don't take anything personal and remember you are that girl. And the convo I really need to have with myself is, why do I keep letting fear allow to procrastinate? I think it's allow me to procrastinate. So thank you for all the mixiners who gave their responses. And again, you too, definitely get in the mix with us. So gentlemen, and myself, let's get it. What's the dialogue that we need to have with ourselves that we haven't had so far? We'll see, you gonna jump off?
Y'all want me to jump it off, man?
Mm-hmm.
I almost tapped into the streets for the
I mean, you know, streets can take. I mean, we could, you know, streets could be here. It's cool.
Like, can I
This
kick it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
With that point.
Because they must not have heard a Tribe Called Quest.
Yo, but I was on point though, right?
He was on point.
Ah.
He was on point. Though. So I feel like a dialogue really need to have with myself that I haven't had so far. I kind of did have, but I'm gonna re-emphasize, you know, for the sake of this question up, is that some of the answers they kind of touched on it on, I guess, people, like, you know, how they were saying not to expect people to treat you like how you might treat them, or have expectations of a person that like you might have for yourself, stuff like that. It's like along the lines of that, where you gotta know that not everybody has like your best interest or even like somebody else's best interest. And in knowing that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta operate around that. You know, it's not like you could expect it just because you might not do somebody a certain kind of way that they might not do the same kind of way. You know what I'm saying? No matter how close people might be or not, you know, you just kind of gotta guard yourself in that sense.
Can I pause you on that?
Absolutely.
Say to the mixiness, don't expect you from others. And I was gonna touch on that because that's the conversation I need to have with myself. Yeah. But go ahead.
And so even like because that was like exactly what I was trying to say.
On the same page with this.
And with that, it's like a corner of that I want to pinpoint, because it's not like I expect myself from others, but it's really a sense where you just kind of don't expect people to do you wrong because you haven't done them wrong. And sometimes people, when you do you dirty for nothing, and you kind of gotta be like prepared for that sometimes. Even some of the closest people, you kind of gotta be prepared for that with some stuff, and that's like a tough conversation to have, because you know when you rock with people a certain way, even if it's people you've grown apart from or something like that, you kind of would never expect that, but you kind of, you know, it's like one of the things to be conscious of when you move in, period. Like some people you know what I'm saying, but then even sometimes when it's the people that you know, it might not be what you think. It's depending on how some circumstances change, and it's just one of those, it's a discernment conversation more than anything, because you know, when sometimes circumstances change, people's mindsets change about certain things, and shit can very well hit the fan.
So I want to touch on that. That was my conversation that I need to have with myself. Is I tend to see the best in other people. I really do. I don't know why, even though I have difficulty seeing people for who they are. When I do, it's too late, right? So I've already experienced the consequence. But even still after that, I still don't really kind of accept people for who they are. And I really got to ask myself, like, oh, Leah, like, people be saying, like, you know, somebody show you who they are, you believe them. Why do you want to ignore what it is? I tend to do that sometimes. I tend to ignore the reality of what it is versus what I want things to be. I don't know what that's about with me, like, but I'm trying to learn really to just kind of like, as people present themselves, to not look at the potential of what people could be or what I think somebody should be like, or just because I'm this way to them, but they're gonna be this way to me. I'm like, oh, if you really kind of show me that you move a little mucky, like I'm like, I gotta keep you at a distance type of thing, and that's difficult for me because and by all means, I'm not a perfect person, but I feel like I'm a very good person, and I feel like I treat people accordingly, and sometimes I don't always get that in return. So I'm just trying to look at myself to say, I gotta stop looking at the like ideals, you know, and look at things as a reality. And that's just not even people, that's for situations too. I've tend to have done that in my life and not really taking things for what it is. So I'm working on it. It's difficult, but when you get burnt too many times, you just kind of like, I'm cool. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that was literally the dialogue that I have had with myself, and I continue to have with myself, and I very much still struggle with that, you know.
That dialogue breaks. It can go so many different directions, though. You know.
Right. Because you don't want to believe that. You don't want to believe that people are a certain way, and I do believe there are people that are good people, and there are people that are not so great, and you just gotta take it for what it is, even though you don't want to see it like that. So I'm just kind of learning to do that, and I got a ways to go. I'm not even gonna lie, I have a ways to go. I really think, honestly, like last year was that year for me where I really started to get into that, looking at things like that, you know. So I mean, I'm 30 now, 5, so it's a long time to really get to that point, and I'm still working on it. So that's my dialogue, and I guess that's your dialogue too.
It was the umbrella to my dialogue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, the dialogue I had to have with myself, I was like, yo, I definitely have to like tap in and find me a therapist ASAP. Was definitely like my relationships. I was horrible with relationships with women, yo, and it was just like the more and more I just found myself like keep wanting to have more than one, and having this one and then having that one, and it was just because of like what I saw growing up and everything, and I'm just like, yo, I can't continue to like keep living like this, because after a while it's just like, yo, your lies, they get caught up to you, and the shit is just like, it's a lot, and it's a headache. It's just like, when you think one girl is gonna be cool with something, she then doesn't become cool with it, and it's just kind of like y'all playing y'all part, y'all doing y'all thing, but then like feelings get attached. So now you kind of like monitoring 2 women with, you know, the same feelings for you, or you monitoring now 3 women with the same feelings for you, and it's just like, yo, which one do I detach from now? And it's just like, it's a lot. So I really had to like, I had to have that talk, like, bro, you cannot keep living like this. Like, you can't keep doing it. And after it gets tiring for real, to be honest with you. It's just like, yeah, you're annoying. She's also annoying me, but all of them were annoying me because I'm not giving them what they want right now, and I really don't want to give any of them what I want to, because the main one I want to give it to, I can't, because she's upset with me because she know about such and such, and it's just like, yo, I can't keep living life like this. And it's one of them things where like I had to have a talk with myself, like, yeah, I can't continue to live it like this. It get like, it really, it gets
a lot of people I know that need to have that talk too.
Yeah, like it gets boring after a while, and it was just like, yo, once I found my therapist before the year was out, it was just kind of like, it was therapeutic, because I was really able to just like talk about my ways, and like, yo, I don't want to keep living like this, yo, like that.
Is that a therapy thing? Is that one of them conversations?
Yeah, you know, my therapist, she be playing in the back of my head, man. Listen, I'm telling y'all, once you reach a certain point of age in life, yo, like that whole phase, it gets tiring, y'all. I'm telling you, this is coming from a man who's had his whole ways. It gets tiring, I'm telling you. And it's kind of like, once you realize that and focus on you, then it's just like, you want to be a better person for the person that you end up meeting, and it's just like, it's just y'all, and she doesn't have to worry about if there's another girl and if there's another girl after that, it's just like her. You know, the only person she got to worry about is if she's gonna be happy or if I'm gonna make her upset. And if I make her upset, it's not because of another woman. It's just because I ain't listened to her for some reason. But that was a dialogue I needed to have with myself, and I honestly didn't think that would be a dialogue I would have with myself. Being that, you know, I'm 33 and no kids or nothing, so I'm really not tied down to anyone as far as like marriage and everything. But it's just a simple fact of like, you always want. I don't want to be 60 still out here, you know, going to the homecomings. Like, yeah, man. So where the young girls at? Like, that's not me. I don't want to do that. Like, I know a few of my old heads that be pulling up like that at homecoming. It's like, bro, that can be your daughter. And then I just be looking like, that's not going to be me. Like, that's not going to be me.
That's a comment. That's him talking. That's you talking to yourself in the mirror. That's the dialogue.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said in the question, right?
Like, that's not going to be me. So that was a dialogue I definitely needed to have with myself. And I think another one too was just getting respect from my parents. Cause I feel as though like when
It's an important one.
I feel as though like when you have a talk with your parents, you either have understanding parents or you have parents who really don't care.
Right.
Like, because they're parents, everything still won't be their way. And I had to have like a tough conversation with my mom, you know, because I had to talk about stuff I experienced with them, you know, while I was growing up in the household with them, you know, from what I witnessed and everything. That was a tough conversation to have with her as well as my father, because I really didn't know how the response was going to be taken. So it was pretty much like a shocker for my mom more so than anything. My pops, he was very understanding because I feel like over the years we've been building like a relationship and working on our communication with one another. So with my mom, that was a conversation that I really needed to have because it was just like, it was needed. I feel as though like, yeah, she looks at me as an adult, but she still looks at me like her child, like I'm a kid still. And it's kind of like,
a lot of parents do that.
yeah, and it's kind of like, yo,
lot of older
Mom, I'm in my 30s. Like, you can't just keep talking to me any old type of way, thinking that I'm a kid, or if it's not your way, then that's just it. Like, no, you have to also, we gotta find an equal meaning, you know. So it was that talk because she felt as though there were times where I would, you know, be disrespectful to her. And I would tell her, I was like, Mom, it's not that I want to be disrespectful to you, but it's like I'm trying to get you to listen to me, but I feel like you're not hearing me. It's kind of like you're hearing me, but because you're the parent, it's just like, I really don't care what you have to say because at the end of the day, I'm your mom. So whatever I say goes type of thing. And it's like, I'm not a kid anymore. Yes, I'm your child, but I'm not a kid anymore. So we gotta come to a meeting term to where, okay, you know what? We could try it this way. We could do, but you just not gonna keep trying to talk to me like this. It's not okay. Cause it's either going it's gonna make our relationship get distant, and I don't want to do that because I love you to death. But we got to do better. And lately we've been doing very well.
It's called growth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's called
It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we still, you know, it's still certain things that we, you know, gotta work on. But I mean, you know, she's asking questions about therapy and all of that, how it's been going and everything. So it's a work in progress. So I appreciate her for that. Been talking to her, opening up to her a little more about things that I've been going through mentally. And what she does on a daily now is send me these positive affirmation messages, and I actually really love them. They're really keep me in good spirits. So, you know, shout out to you, Mom, because I love you to death.
Oh, is there any more? Cause I got another one. I have another dialogue. I'm a true empath. It's probably why I know it's why I'm in the field that I am in. But it has its negatives, cause I care way too much. And I actually bought the book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. and I actually read. I didn't get a chance to finish reading all of it, but it's a really, really good read. So for anybody who has that I care too much and they kind of want to have a good read, check out that book. I'm trying to have a balance like between like how do I like when to care, when to, and not saying not care. Not caring sounds bad, but just choosing where to put your, what you about to say, see? You can say just, I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language.
Sometimes don't care. I don't care how bad.
Can I reframe that by saying
No, it's gonna change the meaning.
no, it's not gonna change the meaning.
Yes, it is.
No, I was
That's what
gonna
I mean.
say
That's
just
exactly what I mean.
choosing discernment, right? So choosing, well, not
Choosing proper discernment means knowing when to not care.
right. So
It's the same thing.
so
See what I'm
see,
saying?
see, that's the
It's a
dialogue.
dialogue.
That's the dialogue. I
It's a
need to handle
dialogue
myself
with
right
yourself.
because I'm struggling with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But choosing where to put my energy. Can I say that?
Okay.
That sounds better, right? Choosing where to put my
If
energy.
it makes you happy, we know what you mean.
He said he trying to keep it real, right? Trying to keep it real. Just saying, look, don't care. Sometimes it is okay to take a step back. I struggle with that. Like it's
Listen,
like even when I'm
we
supposed to
know.
like,
We watching it happen in real live time right now. We watching it happen.
I know, right? See, this is why we having this dialogue. Y'all really seeing if the therapist.
Yeah.
I have, and I have, even with my clients, like when and I shouldn't say not care, but certain things that kind of have that personal boundary where, and I just care so much, but it's so exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Especially when somebody doesn't care the same. Like
Do
you.
yourself a favor.
I know, I'm working on it. You're gonna be the therapist and then help me out
I
with
would
the
just
art
be
and
like,
not
hey,
give a
look,
fuck.
don't get no fuck. Right now. Right now. Don't even care.
I don't know, and I think I have to really do some more like thinking within myself of like, why do I care so much? Like it's hard for me to turn my back, even when I feel like I should. I don't. I just have trouble with that, and I need to, because I need to have a better balance. Honestly, I really do. And again, the therapist got work too, y'all. Just because I'm, in the chair, I have work too. So that I need to do, and those are my two things that I really, 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 really need to work on. That I had with myself. So, all right, see, I'm gonna have to channel Carlton when I'm having a moment of like, should I really care about this right now?
No.
But you know what though, y'all, and I don't know if anybody else know this. The people who really don't be caring be chilling. They be happy. They don't be stressed. They just be cool. And then see, you don't want to be y'all. You don't want to be that bad where you just don't care at all. Like you're just
don't be that bad.
Don't be that bad because then you're not gonna be able to build emotional
some
bonds
people
and
that don't
attachments,
care.
right?
I know some people that don't care.
I have a brother.
It's gonna
I have a
bleed.
brother. He don't give a damn about
It's
nothing.
gonna bleed onto other stuff that you need to care about.
Right, because
Like
you
your
need to care
tooth.
about something.
Damn, bro, the tooth.
I know some people that don't care about.
I don't even know if that's even on the same level. Yeah,
That's a dialogue to have, man. That's another.
That's a whole look.
That's
We
a
gonna put your
dialogue
mans
we
out there
have.
like that.
No, we're not.
Okay,
That's
but-
a dialogue my man need to have.
But he definitely
For
had
real.
a conversation.
I
But yeah,
definitely do.
I need to work on that as well. So I encourage, everybody to tap in and have conversations with themselves. You guys gotta check in, and sometimes, even like I said this before on the show, like even in certain situations or things, we tend to look outward, but we gotta look inward because it's all about taking accountability. And you'd be surprised when you start taking accountability for certain things and you start to see your life transform and you really think like, damn, all this time, yeah, you just gotta look within self. I know it's hard because who really wants to look at self and be like, I got an issue, I gotta fix something. But a lot of times it's you. So, and that's even a work in therapy. A lot of times my clients come in and want to be like, this person, that person, this and this, and I always turn it back to that person. And it'd be hard. Sometimes they be mad. I be having some clients that be mad, but it's important to be like, so what's going on with you? Because this is your work, right? So we definitely got to have those conversations with ourselves.
You gotta have conversations with yourself.
Mhm.
First of all, I always see this quote. Y'all probably seen it. It's like, for the people that talk to themselves, shout out to y'all.
I do.
And it's like, I gotta talk to myself because why wouldn't I consult with the realest nigga that I know? Me. You feel me? Like, 'cause y'all watch Insecure. Issa used to talk to herself all the time. She used to rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let's get to it.
But sometimes too, when you gotta with that though, when you really have, you gotta have real conversations with yourself, right? Some people don't be having those real conversations. They're not honest with themselves. They even way grandiose. Just don't want to really look and be like, oh, is it really what's really going on with me? Some people don't. So if you're gonna have those conversations, you gotta keep it real, keep it a buck, and be like, oh, let me really analyze some things and be honest with yourself. Now, so you're going to, I'm telling you, you're going to see that transformation with yourself once you have that open, honest conversation. But you got to be ready, and not everybody's ready yet, but I think you got to start, doing this in daily practice, right? So I encourage it. I definitely do. And this is why I wanted to have, I had the roundtable mix question for
Man, you gotta do this, man. I hope y'all out there, like, when y'all listening to this, put some of y'all comments in the comments on the conversations y'all had to have, the dialogue which y'all had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I might just be like, don't care, but the therapist might have something else to say. I'm just like,
because I'm trying to channel this season. We here right now, so I'm trying to channel a little bit and not giving the F, but you know what? I'm gonna have to fuck. Excuse my language.
Let's get it out. You care too much about that? Look at that.
See, I do. I gotta work on it, y'all. But I'm gonna get on my Facebook family, right? Because they normally be tapping in, but they ain't really tapping today. I guess people ain't really ready to have those conversations with themselves. But YouTube, show up, tap in, leave comments, let us know what kind of dialogue you need to have with yourself that you haven't had yet. Don't worry, it's all love, no judgment. We want to hear what you got to say. Stop caring out here for all them empaths. Y'all with me? Y'all got a channel to see. Like, stop caring.
Y'all don't gotta care that much.
But you guys, that was my roundtable mix.
That was a good roundtable mix.
That was definitely a good one, man. Listen, mixers, we appreciate y'all getting in the mix with us and subscribing. Before we close out, just want to let y'all know we do have some dope ass interviews coming up. This week we are interviewing a black woman who is in real estate. All right. Now, I know a lot of us aren't really knowledgeable about the real estate game, and on top of that, she is a black woman in the real estate game. So we are going to be interviewing a young lady by the name of Felicia Johnson. And then after that, we have a young lady who's in the fitness game. Now, I know all the women out there, instead of working out, they love to go and just like get the procedures done, get them BBLs and all of that. Nah, this is the episode where you truly need to tap in, pay close attention, all right, because she in it. Mariah B, she will be in the mix with us for a dope ass interview as well. And of course, on top of that, the following week, we have our ladies, our sponsors, none other than Wine O'Clock, joining us and getting in the mix. So we just represent for the ladies out here this month, man. So we truly appreciate y'all locking in and getting in the mix. Again, hit us up, follow us on IG, as well as Twitter at In The Mix Radio 1. Again, subscribe. It's your big dog Kid 6, Chi-Town's finest, Carlton, your dig, and your girl Leah, aka the therapist, and always holding things down behind the scenes, your girl so effing classy. Until next time, we out of here.
We do it for the ladies.
Mix, in the mix, Carlton, Leah,